Have you ever felt incredible pressure, like time is running out? Maybe you need to finish a limited time unit in a gacha game and you just can't get the shards or farm enough currency or whatever it is that you need. And that pressure grows, it gets closer and closer to you, it gets bigger and bigger, and the threat looms large. Can you imagine it? Well, you don't have to. You don't even have to visualize it anymore because it's here. The demon wall is here. It is the physical embodiment of gacha limited time pressure in a card packaged up for you. Now, do you actually need to feel pressure with this card? Well, that's what we're going to discuss this week in Should You Pull? Alright, so this video is going to be a lot like the Demon Wall. Little by little, it's going to progress, and before you know it, it's going to be over. So let's talk about this card that is pretty hyped. It comes with an Esper as well, and there's a lot to think about with this one because it's pretty interesting. So the Demon Wall is a card that is going to give you HP, attack, and luck, and it doesn't give you any magic stats. That's really important to note. It really does limit on who you can put this on, and that's really cool balance-wise. I like that a lot. So even though the unit effect is something that you don't need to put on a magic user anyway, it's still making sure that you're not just sneaking in an extra party effect at the expense of putting it on a mage or something. So taking a look at it, we got a unit effect for dark only. You can get up to 30% attack. That is fine. That's a great little bestowed effect, and I love it. And there's more. There's more coming for bestowed effects. We got a global upgrade in the works here. Party effects, increase pierce attack, and we can go all the way up to 25 for that, and we can get increased slash resistance up to 12%. That's pretty incredible. So obviously this is jumping out to you as a card for Kain. Kain will put this on, he gets attack, luck, and he gets 30% more attack off his base stat, and pierce attack and slash resistance. It's really everything that a spear user would need, and I mean this is going to be a great card if you have other spear users in your party as well, but it gets better. Because we have some global upgrades. For Kain, he gets a limited bestowed effect, pierce attack up. For Cecil and Rosa, they get a bestowed effect attack up, and this is actually going to be really important for Rosa to get some more attack for her kind of like physical attacks. And then that's a repeat there. The dark units only attack up. That's what we already saw. So this is going to be an absolutely bonkers card on Kain. And if you get Kain, then you're going to want to get this card. It's just there's no real way around it. It's going to be the best in slot for him. It just does so much. So let's compare it to what you might use now if you were using a spear user, or when you first saw Kain. You might think, well, I'm going to go ahead and put... oh man, I'm getting ahead of myself here. I was about to do the comparisons. We got to talk about the 2-star awakening and the 3-star awakening. So if you buy this, or if you pull this card and you are not a big fan of farming whimsies and you're a casual player and you just want to go to 2 stars, you actually get a pretty good card. You get 19% attack, you get 14 pierce attack and 6 slash resistance. It's not amazing, but it's definitely, for a casual player, that's going to be totally fine. Now, if you go up to 3 stars, it's going to be, this is kind of the same advice every time. You want to just keep pushing. If you went to 3 stars, keep pushing, go all the way to 4 stars, because this is not that much of an increase on slash resist or pierce attack. So you either want to go 2 or 4, and trust me, if you're pulling this card to use the card, then you want to go 4. Okay, so what I wanted to say earlier is that if you've been using pierce attackers, you might be using the Dashing Over the Snowy Fields card. And we can see here that it is a similar card in that it gives party pierce attack up, but that's all it gives. And the benefit of that is that it gives 35 pierce attack. So this is going to give 10 more pierce attack than Demon Wall is going to give, and it's going to give a small amount of agility to the user as well. There's some magic on this card, so you can put this on to a mage type character, a magic user, and they can then benefit from having some magic. If it's on Ramza, he can benefit from having some attack and magic. And then the party pierce effect, that's still going to go to your Dragoon, to your Lancer, whatever you have. But I still think that I would trade 10 Pierce Attack, especially when this card's already giving attack and Pierce Attack to Kain. I would definitely trade that for some slash resistance as well. It's honestly, it's insane. Now, if you wanted to use Demon Wall to power up your other Pierce users and you pulled this card but you didn't pull Kain, you pulled for Rosa or something, this is still going to be good on Rosa, but you can even use this with your other Pierce attackers and put this card on another dark attacker. You could put this card on someone like Venera, and she's actually going to benefit from the luck. It's going to make her even more evadey, although I don't know how much 26 luck makes a difference. You could put this card on somebody like Stern, and he would actually like this because then you get some Dragoon boost from his Dragoon sub. So there's definitely lots of applications for this card, and I just think getting to, sometimes you have to choose whether you want to be a bruiser and put on things like Death Machine and Odin, and then you sacrifice things like echoing screens for the slash attack or whatever it is. But this is going to allow you to kind of toe the line and do a little bit of both. Pretty exciting. And then to compare it to our slash resist cards, we've got Iron Giant. You can get 15 slash resist here for your party. And then Solidus, and I just can't get over how derpy Schutzout looks in the back there. He's just like, and you can get 20% slash resist. So obviously if you're going for a slash resist build, Solidus is still going to be your main card. But then if we look at Demon Wall, I mean, you're losing 3% off of Iron Giant and you're getting better stats. You're not losing any agility. I think that this card is pretty nutty in that you get you almost get the second best slash attack resistance for your party if you max it, and you get so much more. So it's definitely a very cool card. Okay, this card also comes with an Esper, and this Esper is really good. So we can see here that it's going to be an attack-oriented Esper. You get 80 attack and only 29 magic. Agility is low at 12, something to consider. And then you lose 5% light resistance, which is not terrible. And then the damage is actually kind of cool. If you look at that AoE, it's like this big spread, 100% hit chance, and that's kind of cool. It's going to decrease dark resistance for all of the people it hits, which is everybody, it's 100%, and then increase attack for your units as well. So kind of a cool evocation spell. I know those don't come up all the time, but they do come up sometimes. Okay, and then the skill tree, this is where this Esper really is just insane. So we're gonna get 25 slash resist, and the only other place we get that right now is Siren. Siren is a magic-based Esper that gives more magic than it does attack. So finally we have slash resist that can give more attack to somebody. Although Siren does give a lot of agility, like a lot. So that is also another reason to use Siren. 25% light resistance. If you count the 5% you lose, you actually only get 20, but that's still really good, especially on a dark unit that needs to get some light resistance. Light Killer is also super interesting because this is going to let you just plow through the Engelberts, plow through the Warriors of Light, whatever it is, plow through the Cecils. It's definitely a very interesting node, and I wanted to mention that as well. But then even just the dark resistance there, the stop resistance is really cool. And then there's some evasion rate stuff if you're going into evade. But if you're not going into evade, you probably shouldn't take those panels. So taking a look at the two cards, or the two options here, there's actually kind of two ways I'm going to go with this. So first of all, if you're pulling Cecil, or sorry, if you built Cecil, if you are pulling Rosa, if you are pulling for Kain, then yeah, you should get the Demon Wall. I think it's going to be a really good card. If you have dark units plus you have Pierce units, then again, yeah, this is a really good card for you. But if you just have Pierce units and you don't have a lot of dark units, then I'll put it on, oops, my order today is just not what I thought it was. Then I'm gonna say that you don't need to pull this card necessarily. So I'm also gonna talk about the Esper. The Esper's a yes. This is such a good Esper. 25 slash resist is a really, really, really big deal, and you just cannot fault that. Like, this is something that you can pull for the Esper and then leave the card. Now, that's why I'm putting a maybe here. So there's that whole category that I just described. You should get this card for sure. There's a lot of people that are going to be on the fence, and I think you should get this card for the Esper. But then think about if you want to max the card or not. It is a lot of work. You could always go to the 2-star with the shop shards if you needed to. So it's definitely a lot to think about. The limited cards are kind of scary. You can farm all the shards you need from Whimsy shops, but you need the time, you need the dedication to watch your device, so it is not a guaranteed thing unless you can ensure those things. So it's definitely something to think about. As always, this is your own account, this is your own decision to make, and you need to think about whether or not you can really take on the responsibility of a limited time card. Now, this is all going to factor in whether or not we have a step up banner. If there's a 10k step up banner for this, then it's going to be a really safe move for everybody to go ahead and grab the card. You have 3 weeks to max it, which is a long time. You got the Esper, you're in really good shape. Now, if there's no step up at all, you're going to need a lot more Visior to try to pull it, and that's going to be a really tough decision. But again, I described all the scenarios where you just need this card. So definitely, if you're one of those people and you have the Visior saved up, then this is a card that you should be going for. Alright, that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time, and also in the comments below. So please comment, let me know what you think about the card, and we'll get to chatting.